그 26,000명을 일반인을 대상으로 비타민 D하고 오메가3를 먹이고 또 한국은 먹이지 않고 이렇게 해서 전향적으로 한 연구입니다. 비타민 D를 먹는 사람 또는 오메가3를 먹는 사람이 면역질환의 발생률이 20%가 적더라는 거예요. 예방효과가 있더라 하는 겁니다.
그러면 이제 오메가3랑 비타민 D를 같이 먹었을 때 그런 효과가 있는 거예요? 아니면 각각 먹었을 때 그런 효과가 있는
좋은
거예요?
질문이신데요.
여러분, 그래서 이 질문에 대한 궁금증을 해결하고자 이번 연구를 주도한 하버드 의대 교수에게 직접 물어보았습니다. 이 면역질환 예방에 있어서 비타민 D와 오메가3가 어떻게 그리고 얼마나 도움을 주고 있는지 닥터 코스텐베이더의 인터뷰를 통해 함께 알아보시죠.
Well, nice to meet you, Dr. Kostenbader.
I'm Karen Kostenbader. I'm a rheumatologist and epidemiologist at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston and Harvard Medical School. And I've been interested for many years in the causes of autoimmune diseases.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today to discuss your research about vitamins and autoimmune diseases.
Thanks for your interest. And thanks for getting the word out to the Korean population. Yeah.
So, would you like to take a moment to present your research to our viewers?
Sure. So this was a big trial, as I said, being organized. The primary aims of the initial trial were for prevention of cardiovascular disease and cancers. But I saw this as a great opportunity to test whether these two supplements really can prevent the onset of autoimmune diseases in the population. Because older populations also get a lot of autoimmune diseases. In fact, the prevalence of autoimmune disease continues to go up with age. So they recruited 25,871 people. That was women age 55 and older and men age 50 and older. The trial randomized people into 4 groups so that everybody took 2 pills, but you didn't know which 2 pills you're taking. And people took these for 5 years.
5 years? Wow, I mean, how did you conduct your research for 5 years?
We got tons of medical records, and annually they were asked about a lot of things. We assessed adherence by getting more blood samples to see what people's blood measures were for the vitamin D and the omega-3 fatty acid, which is the active component of the fish oil supplement. And they reported whether they had any new autoimmune diseases.
You did a lot of work for the follow-up for your research. Then for this time, can you explain the results of your study in more detail?
Sure. So we saw about, let's see, I'll give you the right numbers. So in the vitamin D alone group, the hazard ratio was 0.68, and that was significant. In the N3 fatty acids group, it was 0.74. And then when the people took both of them, the hazard ratio was 0.69, and that was significant as well. That both of these supplements, vitamin D and fish oil, have all kinds of really immune modulating and anti-inflammatory.
I see. I mean, these are very surprising results. But I thought taking both vitamin D and the fish oil could lower the incidence more, you know?
We didn't see an interaction. We actually thought there might be an interaction between the two, that if they both worked similarly, there might have been an interaction even lowering the risk even lower. But we were looking at all autoimmune diseases, and autoimmune diseases have a lot of similarities, but they also have some differences. So maybe that's why we didn't see an interaction. But we're really excited about the results.
According to your study, it would be good for people to take either vitamin D or the fish oil in advance to prevent autoimmune diseases. Then would it be better to take them from an early age?
I think, but given your family history, given your concerns, I think that it's very reasonable to start these around for men at around age 50 and women around age 55. So I got a lot of questions about, well, I have an autoimmune disease. Should my children start taking these supplements? And I'd say, well, it depends on the age of your children. If your children are over the age and this does pertain to them, yes, but I can't answer that for 10-year-olds, for 15-year-olds, for 5-year-olds, for anybody younger yet. We haven't done those trials for the prevention of autoimmune disease in a big way. So hopefully we'll be able to do those studies someday.
I totally agree with you. Then how long should people take these supplements?
And we suspected these supplements don't work on the day you start taking them. So we saw, especially for vitamin D, that we didn't see very much of an effect before 2 or 3 years. And then the curve started to separate. So we expect, so you have to take them for a long time before you see an effect.
Any tips or precautions when taking either vitamin D or the fish oil?
Especially for fish oil, I think you have to look at the label and you have to make sure, but you don't want to be taking a lot of mercury. So purified from mercury. And then look at how much DHA and EPA are in the supplements. And occasionally, if people are on anticoagulants, they can make you bleed a little bit more, so you do have to be careful of that. Vitamin D, I would consult your doctor before, and then also you can review for where you get vitamin D in your diet or sunshine, or get your level tested. You don't want to overdose. And people who have kidney disease may not be able to take high dose, especially kidney stones, may not be able to take high doses. But otherwise, seem very safe.
Thank you so much for your explanation. Any final thoughts that you want to share with us before we wrap it up for today?
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's great to share the results of our research worldwide. I think there's still a lot of research to do. We do have to figure out how to address the younger populations, and we're looking at high-risk populations, and then what happens longer term. Even if it's just delaying the onset of an autoimmune disease, that's still important, because if you don't get it for a few years, you have a better quality of life for a few years. That's really important these days.